Hey everybody, it's your boy Will, aka the greatest political mind the world will never know. And this is my review, my analysis of the debate between John McCain and Senator Barack Obama. I gotta say that there was no real fireworks. It was very interesting though, very interesting. And I had time to think about it because I wanted to make sure I thought about it before I came in. I didn't want to have my thoughts all jumbled. But I gotta say that when I first started watching the debate, and as the debate was going on, I couldn't give it a clear winner either way. Because I thought Obama did very well in the economy, but I also thought that McCain was holding his own, and he showed himself to be competent, which I was kind of worried that he wouldn't be able to do because that is Obama's strong suit. And I think that he tried to explain the last couple of days, and I think he got a little jumbled on that, so I had to take a couple points away from him on that because he should have just let sleeping dogs lie. And the American people, you know, watch the news, hopefully, well, some of us, and he didn't need to go into a lot of explanation about why he went to Washington. I mean, the press is going to spin it the way they spent it. And the way they spin it was that he was trying to do a political stunt. We people, the regular people who know John McCain and his record, know that he's a maverick and he does things off the cuff. And he went to Washington because that's what he does. I mean, who remembers the Gang of 14? I mean, this guy's always in the middle of something. So I thought he needed to, didn't really necessarily need to explain that, but I'm glad he did, so maybe he reached one or two people. I love that Jim Lair was able to press Obama about his plan, his economic plan, because see, when we bail this bailout of $700 billion, that's 700 with a B people, and Obama has $1.2 trillion in new entitlement programs, $1.2 trillion, and he also on top of that wants to give a 95% cut in taxes to the so-called, what he calls the middle class. And he wants to raise taxes on business and the so-called wealthy. Well, honestly, people, he's going to raise taxes on everybody. Because after this bailout, in order to pay for his programs, he's going to have to either raise taxes on everybody or do a whole bunch of deficit spending. Which means that you are going to get your taxes raised. It's just that simple. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that is the way the world works. So I'm glad Jim Lair was able to press him on that, and that showed Obama to be the flip-flopper that he is, and the R that he is, and he didn't really want to answer the question. When that question was given to McCain, at least he had answers. And he talking about, hey, we're going to have to cut some programs. We're going to have to cut some spending. I like that he was honest. Obama wasn't honest with you. He knows he's going to have to raise taxes or he's going to have to deficit spend, which will send our economy into another spiral down the toilet. He knows that. But he knows that you don't know that. So he was able to fool you. See, most Obama worshipers and Obama supporters aren't the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree, because if you were, you would understand what an empty suit he is. And yes, I am insulting you, because a lot of you, who I can see on my comments, do not do your homework. You do not research. You do not pick up a civics book or go to the library, watch a video or something to see how our government works. And if you saw how our government works and you knew it, then you would know that what Obama talks about, he can't do. Back to the debate. So I give Obama the slight edge on the economy, but I do believe McCain held his own. Now the second half of the debate, well, the majority of it, the first last hour, was about foreign policy. All Obama had to do for the Obamanites in the press and for the Obama supporters and worshipers was show himself to be competent. And in that he succeeded. He gave generic answers to very complex situations, and I thought that was a disservice to the American people. But he did show himself to be competent. So if anybody was leaning towards Obama anyway, listening to this debate made them more comfortable. But for people who know how the world works, once again, they would know that those were generic answers. And I love the way McCain pressed him on the prerequisites that he talked about in his debates with Hillary, and he tried to flip-flop in this debate. that he would meet with them without preconditions or prerequisites. That was what he said. I believe, I can't remember who the exact moderator was, but they asked him, so you would meet with them without any conditions? And Obama said yes. He didn't say, well, maybe, or maybe some low level. He said yes, plain and simple. Look it up on YouTube, find it out for yourself. So in the foreign policy part, I think that a lot of people are going to look at this debate, and depending on where you lean or how old you are, notice I said that how old you are going to find something to you, depending on your age, I think that is going to find out how you perceived who won this debate. I think young people are going to see an old white guy standing next to a cool, hip black guy, and they're going to say the cool, hip black guy won because he was more articulate, because he sounded better and looked better, because most of the stuff that Obama was saying was going over the head, but it sounded pretty good. That is sad, but that's the majority of Obama supporters. They don't know anything about Obama except that he went to Harvard Law and he was a president of Harvard Law Review. They cite one or two pieces of legislation that his name is only on, he never wrote. That's all they ever know about Obama. So him talking tonight, for those young people, will be all about style. And so they'll say he won. But for older people who are a lot more older, wiser, understand the world, and are not caught up in a cult of personality, MTV personalities and mentality, they'll see that it was about substance. Yes, McCain is old. Yes, he stumbled on his words a little bit. But I listened to the words that he said, and they were substantive. Now, did Obama hold his own in foreign policy? Of course he did. I'm not saying that he didn't, that he was incompetent. He was competent, but that's all he had to show. That's all he had to show to those people who might have been on the fence leaning his way. But I think McCain did score some points in the foreign policy and did see some doubt when he talked about the naivete of Obama when it comes to Russia and Iran and the war in Iraq. See, Obama went back to the past. He's always talking about going to the future, but he went back to the past this time. He talked about, well, I never was for the war. Well, dude, you weren't even in the Senate at the time. And I guarantee you, during that rough time after 9/11, and you had that kind of pressure on you that Joe Biden had, your running mate, and Hillary Clinton and Senator John McCain had on them, after 9/11 and the American people wanting blood, you would have voted for the war as well. So don't give me that. Bush was at 60% approval rating at the time. You would have voted for it too. You were a consummate politician just like anybody else. But he always goes towards that. And see, that's the cornerstone of his campaign. And a lot of ignorant Obama worshipers and supporters believe that he voted against the war. But he only gave a speech about the war in 2002, and that wasn't even the main focus of the speech. It was of 10 minutes of a 20-minute speech. I'm sorry, 5 minutes of a 20-minute speech. So let's set the record straight. So all in all tonight, John McCain showed slightly better judgment than I thought he could have had when it came to the economy. Obama showed that he was competent when it came to the foreign policy, which is all he had to do in order to satisfy the Obamanites in the press. And I guarantee you, you're going to hear, depending on the age of the person, even gender, I think a lot of women are going to see that he was handsome, he was articulate, and those Hillary people are probably going to go towards him because of style, towards Obama, I mean, because of style, and they're going to shy away from John McCain because of his oldness and his gruffness and him stumbling on some of his words. But if you saw McCain tonight, I was very impressed with how he just knew these names and places and how many places he's been and how he has a commanding presence when it comes to foreign policy and how he understands how the world works. See, like he said, people, this is not about on-the-job training. He's been there, done that. He really is, even more so than Hillary Clinton, ready on day one. So it's not, I guarantee you, in the press for the next couple of days, you're going to hear, depending on who it is, whether it be MSNBC, Obama TV, they're going to be talking about style, or Fox News, they're going to be talking about substance, and CNN is going to be somewhere in the middle. That's the way it is. Obama won the presidency tonight. Even though he lost the debate, he won the presidency, because all he had to do was show himself to be competent. It's that simple. we're going to have a president with on-the-job training who is a flip-flopper, somebody with no experience, with no legislative accomplishments, someone who doesn't take a stand on anything as our president, because we are an MTV mentality, personality, cult of personality driven society who will elect a president based on who we like but not who can do the job. That's how we got George W. Bush, people, because people voted for who they liked instead of who can actually do the job. And it will be to your chagrin that we get another person like that in the name of Senator Barack Obama, Democrat from Illinois. You people are going to rue the day. Buyer's remorse. Did McCain win the debate tonight? Yes, he did. Slightly. But is the debate, this debate just solidified Obama winning the election. McCain won the battle, but Obama won the war.